Welcome to our deep dive into one of the most pressing environmental challenges of our time, sea level rise. In this ultimate guide, we'll explore the science, impacts, and future implications of this global threat. Sea level rise is not a distant problem. It's happening now, and its effects are already being felt around the world. From coastal erosion to flooding, the consequences are becoming increasingly severe and widespread. Let's start by understanding the science behind sea level rise. There are two main factors driving this phenomenon: melting glaciers and ice sheets, and thermal expansion of the oceans. As global temperatures increase due to climate change, massive ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica are melting at an alarming rate. This adds enormous volumes of water to the oceans. Additionally, mountain glaciers are retreating, further contributing to sea level rise. Thermal expansion occurs as the oceans absorb excess heat from the atmosphere. As water warms, it expands, taking up more space and causing sea levels to rise. This process accounts for about 1/3 of observed sea level rise. The rate of sea level rise has accelerated in recent decades. In the 20th century, global sea levels rose by about 6 inches. However, since the 1990s, the rate has more than doubled. Current projections suggest we could see a rise of 1 to 8 feet by 2100, depending on our emissions trajectory. Now, let's examine the devastating impacts of rising seas. Coastal communities are on the front lines, facing increased flooding, erosion, and storm surge damage. Low-lying islands and deltaic regions are particularly vulnerable, with some facing existential threats. Major coastal cities worldwide are at risk. From Miami to Mumbai, millions of people and trillions of dollars in infrastructure are threatened by rising waters. Storm surges riding on higher sea levels can penetrate further inland, causing more extensive damage. Sea level rise also poses significant ecological challenges. Saltwater intrusion into freshwater aquifers can contaminate drinking water supplies and harm agriculture. Coastal wetlands, crucial for biodiversity and natural flood protection, are at risk of being submerged. The economic costs of sea level rise are staggering. Estimates suggest that by 2050, annual damages from coastal flooding could reach $1 trillion globally. This includes direct damage to property and infrastructure, as well as indirect costs like disrupted trade and tourism. Adapting to rising seas will require massive investments in coastal defenses, from seawalls to elevated buildings. Some communities may need to consider managed retreat, the planned relocation of people and assets away from high-risk areas. Looking to the future, what can we expect? Even if we drastically reduce greenhouse gas emissions today, some amount of sea level rise is already locked in due to the heat already absorbed by the oceans. However, our actions now can significantly influence how much and how fast seas will rise in the coming decades and centuries. Under high-emission scenarios, we could see multi-meter sea level rise by 2300, reshaping coastlines worldwide. Low-lying nations like the Maldives could become uninhabitable, while major coastal cities might need to build massive seawalls or consider partial relocation. However, there is hope. By rapidly transitioning to clean energy and reducing emissions, we can slow the rate of sea level rise, giving communities more time to adapt. Every fraction of a degree of warming we prevent translates to feet of sea level rise avoided. Innovative solutions are emerging to help coastal areas cope with rising waters. These include nature-based approaches like restoring mangroves and salt marshes, which can absorb wave energy and trap sediment. Floating architecture and amphibious homes offer new ways to live with water. Advanced warning systems and improved flood mapping can help communities prepare for and respond to flooding events. Meanwhile, scientists are developing more accurate models to predict local sea level changes, crucial for effective planning. International cooperation is essential in addressing this global challenge. The Paris Agreement aims to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius, which would significantly reduce long-term sea level rise. However, current pledges fall short of this goal, highlighting the need for more ambitious action. As individuals, we can contribute by reducing our carbon footprint and supporting policies that address climate change. Educating ourselves and others about sea level rise helps build public support for necessary adaptation and mitigation measures. In conclusion, Sea level rise is a complex and urgent global threat that demands our immediate attention. By understanding the science, recognizing the impacts, and taking decisive action, we can work towards a more resilient future for our coastal communities and ecosystems. The choices we make today will shape the coastlines of tomorrow. Let's rise to the challenge and ensure a sustainable future for generations to come. Like, share, and subscribe to InfiniteUniall